Mr. Speaker, and with permission I would like to make a statement about government plans for investment in new nuclear power. 16 years ago, in 2009, as Energy Secretary, I delivered a statement to this House identifying potential sites for new nuclear. Back then I said we need to use all available low-carbon sources. New nuclear is right for energy security and climate change, and it will be good for jobs too. Mr. Speaker, that was true back then, and it is even more true today. Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the cost of living crisis that followed showed how vulnerable we are as a country because of our dependence on fossil fuels, at the whim of markets controlled by petrostates and dictators. Now, the imperative of energy security and the demands of the climate crisis mean we must shift as fast as possible to clean, homegrown power. And, Mr. Speaker, the demand for that power, as we shift away from gas, is expected to at least double by 2050. So we need all the low-carbon sources we can to meet the demands we face. And the advice from experts, including the Climate Change Committee, is clear. We need new nuclear to meet our climate obligations. So, Mr. Speaker, this government supports new nuclear because of our belief that the climate crisis is the greatest long-term threat facing our country and our world, not in spite of it. Because of the imperative of energy security, and also because of the good skilled jobs that nuclear provides. In Britain today, there are too few industries that offer the secure, well-paid jobs with strong trade unions that the British people desire and deserve. I have heard time and again, Mr. Speaker, from people up and down the country about the importance of nuclear jobs to their communities. For all these reasons, the government is taking decisive steps today to usher in a new golden age of nuclear for Britain. First, back in the late 2000s, I identified Sizewell as a potential site for new nuclear when I was Energy Secretary. Mr. Speaker, it's taken 16 years, but I'm incredibly proud that we are today announcing $14.2 billion of our public funding for this spending review period to build Sizewell C, the first government-funded and owned nuclear power station in Britain since the 1980s, a strategic partnership with France, with EDF, intending to invest alongside us. I want to recognise the contribution of my honourable friends for Lowestoft and Ipswich in advocating for this project, and also my honourable friend for Warrington North for her advocacy for nuclear as a whole. I also acknowledge he's not here, but the work of the honourable member for West Aberdeenshire and Kincardine as nuclear minister. Mr. Speaker, Sizewell C will power the equivalent of around 6 million homes with clean homegrown energy for 60 years, and it will be a jobs and growth engine for Britain, supporting 10,000 jobs at peak construction and creating 1,500 apprenticeships. Well-paid, highly skilled jobs in East Anglia and communities across the country, and I want to thank the GMB, Unite and Prospect trade unions who are brilliant champions for the nuclear industry. Mr. Speaker, Sizewell has already signed £4.2 billion worth of contracts with 311 companies and eventually will work with 3,500 suppliers in all 4 nations of the UK. And I will also say to the House, this project is good value for money for the taxpayer because there will be a clear economic return on the investment, and for the bill payer because all the due diligence we have done demonstrates that the cost of the clean power supplied will be cheaper than the alternative. Mr. Speaker, we expect the final investment decision on the project, including through the capital raise from the private sector, to be completed in the summer when we will set out further detail. Mr. Speaker, a new generation of nuclear power, promised for years, delivered by this Labour government. Second, small modular reactors offer a huge industrial opportunity for our country. We're determined to harness Britain's nuclear expertise to win the global race to lead in this new technology. I can inform the House that following a rigorous 2-year competition, today Rolls-Royce SMR has been selected as the preferred bidder to develop the UK's first SMRs, subject to final government approvals and contract signature. This initial project could create up to 3,000 skilled jobs and power the equivalent of around 3 million homes. And in the spending review, we are committing to the public investment needed to get this project off the ground, with over £2.5 billion of funding for the SMR programme over the spending review period. It will be delivered by a publicly owned company, Great British Energy Nuclear, headquartered in Warrington, an allied company to Great British Energy, headquartered in Aberdeen. Subject to government approvals, the contract will be signed later this year. Our aim is to deliver one of Europe's first SMR fleets, leading the world in the nuclear technologies of the future. More good jobs and energy security funded and made possible by this Labour government. Third, beyond the immediate horizon, nuclear fusion offers the potential of an energy-abundant future. Britain already leads thanks to the pioneering work of the UK AEA. But unlike in the past, we're determined to make the investments to stay ahead as a country. So today we are pledging to invest more than £2.5 billion in nuclear fusion, including the STEP programme. This will help progress a new prototype fusion plant at West Burton. I congratulate the Mayor of the East Midlands, Claire Ward, for her tireless advocacy of this project, as well as my honourable friends, the members for Bassett Law and Rushcliffe, for their advocacy too. This will be the first fusion plant of its kind in the world on the site of a former coal-fired power station. Britain leading the clean energy transition and trailblazing the technologies of the future under a Labour government. Fourth, our nuclear ambitions do not stop there. As we move ahead on these projects, we see huge potential right across the country. That's why we're looking to provide a route for private sector-led advanced nuclear projects, AMRs and SMRs, to be deployed in the UK. And we will task Great British Energy Nuclear with a new role in assessing proposals, with the National Wealth Fund exploring potential investment opportunities. My message to the private sector is if you want to build new nuclear, Britain is open for business. And I can also tell the House that following the incredible campaigning work of my honourable friends for Whitehaven and Workington, Carlisle, Penrith and Solway and Barrow-in-Furness, my department has asked the Nuclear Decommissioning Authority and Cumberland Council to consider the potential for privately led clean energy development in Moorside, delivering jobs and growth in Cumbria. We also know, Mr. Speaker, this is an industry that demands long-term thinking. So having announced these steps today, we will build on our 2030 Clean Power Action Plan and set out our plans for the energy system into the 2030s and beyond, including our ambitions and next steps on nuclear. Mr. Speaker, taken together, the steps I have announced today will kick off the biggest nuclear building programme Britain has seen in half a century, doubling down on our nuclear strength to take the latest step forward in our mission to make Britain a clean energy superpower. And when people ask what clean energy and net zero means for our country, this is what it is all about. For too long, our country has not made the crucial energy or indeed other infrastructure investments we need. A short-sighted failure to invest, which the British people have paid the price in lower living standards, insecurity and declining public services. This week's announcements signal a decisive change in approach. To invest in the future, the right choice for energy security, the right choice for jobs, the right choice for climate and our children and grandchildren, the right choice for Britain, investment not decline. This government has made its choice, and I commend this statement to the House.